The next pocket uses gathering stitches to shape the top edge of the pocket, piping cord to finish the top edge, and is lined. Find the two pieces labeled gathered pocket, press flat if needed. Use the sewing machine to thread trace the sides and bottom of each piece separately. Set the stitch width to 0 and the stitch length to 4. Be sure to stop, put your needle down, and turn at each corner. It is important that these corners are defined for later. Next, place gathering stitches between the first and last notch along the top edge of each piece. Place the fabric underneath the presser foot with the needle lined up with the leftmost notch and just outside the stitch line. Check to be sure you have a 3 or 4 inch tail of thread. Hold those threads and begin sewing. Do not backstitch. Continue sewing just above that stitch line until you reach the 3rd notch. Be sure the needle is in the upright position and remove the work. Leave a 3 or 4 inch tail before cutting your threads. Stitch a second time between the notches in the same manner. This time, line up the edge of the presser foot with the stitch line. The second stitch line should be a 1/4 inch away from the first. Again, do not backstitch and be sure to leave a 3 or 4 inch tail at the beginning and end. Stitch a 3rd time. This time, center the stitch line between the 2 you have already sewn. You can use the inside edge of each side of the foot as a guide. Together, turn the piece to the right side and gently pull the 3 top threads from one side. Hold the fabric gently in place with your thumb and first finger as you pull. The fabric should begin to bunch up or gather along this stitch line. As you continue, you can gently push the gathers towards the center with your thumb and first finger. Be sure to pull on all 3 threads evenly and do not pull too hard or the threads will break. When you have gathered about halfway, place a pin vertically across the seam. Wrap the threads around the front and back of the pin 3 or 4 times. This holds your gathers in place and will prevent you from accidentally pulling the gathering thread all the way through. Repeat on the other side. Gather until the space between the notches measures 2 inches. When you are close, use the bottom edge of the 2 inch wide see-through plastic ruler to check. Adjust if needed so that from notch to notch measures 2 inches exactly. Place a pin vertically across the seam and wrap your threads around. This will set the length of the section. You want the gathers to be evenly distributed across the section. Use your thumb to gently push gathers from sections with more gathers to places with less until the gathers are evenly distributed. With your gathers set, you are ready to make your piping.